Hi everyone and welcome to your daily oracle reading. The challenge, the Ace of Air. Now this card represents the embodiment of the element of air, so symbolically it represents the freedom of our minds and the blessing of intellect, of rationality, of logic, everything that has to do with the mind that the universe gave our species, so to speak, because that is our greatest weapon, that is our greatest tool, and that is our greatest defense. So it is basically the key to all our success, and without it, we wouldn't be where we are right now. We wouldn't be here today, or at least not in this way. So, this is what the butterfly represents. It represents our liberty, but also how very fragile that liberty is. Because the wings of the butterfly may be beautiful, may be infinitely efficient, but they're still rather fragile, and it doesn't take a lot of damage to disable them. So this is suggestive in a number of different ways, because are we in a situation where our wings have been just clipped or ripped off of us? Or is it rather the other way around, where our bodies have been limited, and that's why we had to embrace the freedom of the mind, the freedom of thought? But in challenge position, we have to look at the shadow expression of this card, where the butterfly wasn't always as beautiful and as gracious as it is in the present moment. It was once a caterpillar which looked totally differently and had a totally different lifestyle. So basically, symbolically, both us as individuals but also human collective, maybe just a couple of months ago, was a caterpillar and it was bound to the earth. So that represents our greed, our insatiable hunger from so many different perspectives, and that was our basic survival instinct. That was our hunger, was the element, the inner element which has driven us, which represented the source of our ambition, the source of our passion, so to speak. But right now, maybe this isolation, this stillness, this silence is when the caterpillar weaves the cocoon, and it weaves it around itself, so basically, it self isolates, but at the same time, when the cocoon is complete, it will just start digesting itself. It will start digesting its caterpillar part, so to speak, and afterwards, everything, all of its components, are reconfigured into what is known as the butterfly. And all of this is done inside the cocoon, and it is so very symbolic, because isn't it what is happening to all of us right now? Aren't we just digesting ourselves as in the old system is falling? Our old values are changing. The way we think of and look at ourselves is totally changing. This is where modern science and the scientific community is openly recognizing that human beings also have a spiritual need, a psychological need, in order to function well, in order to exist in harmony, in order for the body to be totally okay. And this is a massive change. This is a massive quantum leap, so to speak, because this very important element, this very important truth, is not only in the awareness of a few people, but it's rather being said openly, giving it the chance to become part of collective consciousness in a way it could have never done so before at any other moment in history. So, this is a really powerful symbolism explaining exactly what is happening to us, both as individuals but collectively in the present moment. So, we are going through a very powerful metamorphosis, and of course, that metamorphosis is destructive because we are digesting everything that we were in the past, maybe a couple of months ago. So we are digesting our essence. We're digesting even our sense of identity. We are freeing ourselves from the bonds, but those bonds were necessary in the past, but are no longer necessary, so we are transforming them into something totally else, into new components. For us, the time when we were a caterpillar is already just a memory, it isn't part of the present. It is not part of our lives in the present moment anymore. So that is actually really good news because we are inside the cocoon. So we know for certain that when the cocoon breaks open, we can emerge as who we truly are. We can emerge as someone who reflects the present moment, and that means that in a couple of months, maybe, our wings will solidify and we'll be ready to fly. We will be ready to embrace our freedom. But the challenge of this card refers to the present moment, not so much the future. So, since right now we are in the cocoon and we are going through the metamorphosis, that is what we should be focusing on. That is what we should be doing right now instead of either dwelling in the past or obsessing with the future. We have to be present in the now to do the work, to do the metamorphosis. The opportunity, the star. This is also really suggestive because the card which precedes the star is the tower, and it represents destruction, upheaval, crisis, everything that is going on right now. So this is the opportunity to build everything on what we hope. Hope is really, really important because if we build our futures on everything that we would love to experience, well, that guarantees us that we won't be disappointed. And if though all those things that need to change are built on our hopes, then that change is that much likely to occur in a very constructive and positive way, not just randomly. So by hoping, by being hopeful, by embodying everything that we hope, we are just helping the universe, the karmic forces, and even those of us who are tasked with physical rebuilding, we are helping them, guiding them through our collective wills to build a future which all of us would love to experience rather than our fears and our nightmares and our traumas. So this card tells us that the opportunity that we have in the present moment, because of the crisis, the sheer awareness, the knowledge that the crisis is going on in the world, already destroyed our hopes and dreams. But after they were destroyed, we still have the rubble, the building material. So we are invited to make new ones. We are invited to give life or refine the old ones, give them a new shape and form. It is those hopes, those new dreams that are going to mirror the person who we truly are. So being hopeful and just staying strong in the present moment, not allowing yourself to descend into fear, is really, really important, because with this opportunity, by seizing this opportunity to just rebuild your dreams, rebuild your inner world, you are actually creating, or better said, co-creating the future. And it's definitely going to be the way you hope, as long as your hope is authentic and really, really strong, as long as you focus all your willpower into your hopes and just staying strong. The resolution, Guardian of the Earth. Now this card is also really suggestive because it speaks about where all of this is leading us towards. And this also represents that this future which we are about to embrace, one way or another, for some people consciously, for other people subconsciously, was really, really important for them. It was a really important part of their lives, a dream, a wish, a desire they always had all their lives, which is for us, for humankind, to live in harmony with Mother Nature. And this is a really positive thing, and this is truly something to be hopeful of, because what does this reflect? That it doesn't matter how the lives of people were the vast majority of people, the vast majority of human beings have always desired and loved nature, which means that there are more people in the world who love nature with all their souls rather than people who don't, who just don't care about her or maybe dislike her. And this is really important and really big, because if all those people who love nature are vast majority, well, then the power of love is going to unleash one way or another. And maybe that is why this isolation and the fact that it's having miraculous effects on nature herself is so important. So the positive side of this is greatly overpowering. The negative side is actually quite worth it if we are healing our planet with our suffering or whatever. And if this leads to a future where all of us become more responsible and more loving children to our mother, so to speak, well, then whatever we're doing in the present moment, it doesn't matter how hard it seems right now, is definitely worth it. Like our predecessors, our ancestors, worked really, really hard and sacrificed a lot for us to have this future where technology is possible, where a certain type of peace still exists, because it could be much worse than this, to be totally honest with you. They have worked so much and sacrificed so much for us to have this. Now it is our duty, our karmic responsibility, so to speak, to do the same for our children, for our successors, for the world of tomorrow. So we have to invest everything we have and sacrifice everything we can to honor the sacrifice of our own ancestors, and ultimately the sacrifice, tolerance, kindness, and gentleness of Mother Nature. Because if she really wanted to, we could be already extinct. And deep down inside, everyone knows this. Everyone knows that this isn't the worst possible scenario, because it could have been much, much worse than this. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye for now.